Yo, check it out, check it out. Let's start. Right. Yo, it's your boy Von Keith.
Stay in hustle mode, got some brand new clothes, hit them with a pose, check what I just drove, my car don't touch the road.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Von Keith the artist, checking in again with a whole nother haircut. So I know you're wondering, what are we doing with this haircut today? I already paid my man's hair up. I thought we were doing some big transformation, cutting down the sides. However, he wants to keep his hair. We're gonna relock it up. So we're starting off by hitting with the N Go Hairline Spritz on the edges, just to make sure the hair is stiff. Now we're trimming the edges down. I like to pull the excess hair. I'm just making sure my clippers and my trimmers are getting the excess hair, so my liners won't be fighting with the hair whenever we start the lineup process. So now I'm taking my gamma trimmers and I'm going on the back line, and I'm also doing the back line of my client's beard. Usually when I'm doing the nape area, I want to make sure I take my time. I'm tapping very softly, and even when I'm cleaning up all the excess hair, I'm also taking my time when I'm doing the back line of the beard. Usually I like to make sure the line is curving back out, just like you see I'm doing right here. Excuse my head if it's in the way. I like to get in there. Still working on my camera angles. Alright, let's move along with this haircut process. So the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tackle these C-cups. Now the reason why I'm starting with these C-cups rather than a vertical bars like I usually do is because if you can look very closely, his hairline is very light. There's a lot of new growth there, but it's not as dark as his actual hair, like where the locks started, So in order for my eyes to have some type of definitive cushion, for lack of better terms, I want to make sure I'm starting off with the most amount of hair, just so I can make sure I'm not going into his hairline or pushing any hair back. All right, so like I said, since the vertical bars are very light, I'm going to take my Dorco razor blades and I'm gonna gather as much new growth hair as I can right here to avoid any pushbacks. And I'm showing this in the video because I want you to realize that not everyone's hairline is going to be perfect. Not everybody has the ideal hairline. And that's what makes barbering pretty challenging at times, because it's like someone comes in your chair and they just sit down and in their head they're saying, hey, fix it. And that's what we have to do. We're going to try our best. But, when someone throws you lemons, you have to make lemonades. And that's what we're doing today. Now after we got the razoring process down, I'm gonna take my trimmers. These are my low pro Babyliss customized trimmers. I call them my Green Goblins. They're really pretty. Got a real nice wet paint job. Shout out to my man B Clark Customs, and shout out to my man Clipper Grinder for setting up that deal for me to get those trimmers. Always remember, whatever we do on one side, we must do on the other. So I'm gonna show you the same process as I showed you on the other side. However, I didn't start with the C-cups because you can see I'm pretty confident in what the hairline is now. It's pretty much muscle memory. I've been cutting my man's hair for quite some time, so once I seen where the line was going, now I was a little more confident to say, hey, okay, I don't have to start with the C-cup anymore. I could just go straight across his forehead. Also, just in case you're wondering, I did switch out my trimmer blades because my Green Goblins, they hit just a little bit sharper. I mean, they're pretty much broken in, but when it comes to certain areas, you know, the blades could hit a little sharper and it might warp the skin up, especially on this particular area of the head, because on the temple area, people's skin can be very, very sensitive, and also in the nape area. So my Gamblers, man, they pretty much, they never let me down. Not too many people get whelped up from them as well, so that's the reason why I chose those to execute my C cups versus using my Green Goblins. You know, when you're tackling this nape area, not a lot of people like to put their hair down. I don't have a firm press. You see, I'm just taking my time, tap, 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 that's it. You know, usually people with locks, kind of hard to put their head down for some reason. So, hey, you know, I give you what you give me. But of course, we try to make it as clean as possible. Usually when people have locks, don't try to make the hairline too sharp, because you're going to go up a little too high. All right, now it's time to crack that razor back out. So I'm not doing a dry razor shave today because my client's skin, it is a little dry, just like I was explaining earlier. He has a mild case of skin psoriasis, as you can see on his forehead. So usually when I see one spot that has, you know, flaky skin, I make sure I just say, hey, let's go ahead and not be lazy. Let's crack out the razor gel. Because if you try to do a dry razor on dry skin, that can just end up as a complete fail. And you're gonna nick this, you're gonna nick your client, and it's gonna be a bad experience for the both of you. So stop being lazy, just apply that gel, it'll help you out in the long run. But when I'm razoring my beard lines, I make sure I'm wiping away the gel residue after a few glides to his face, as you can see. I'm also zooming in for y'all just so I can see, you know, a little closer how I'm constructing my beard lines. This method, it also helps keep the beard and mustache lines as wide as possible, because that's the style nowadays, and that's what most people want. They want as much beard growth as possible, because, you know, people are taking time out the day to put beard oil in their beard, use a derma roller, etc., etc. But always remember, this method, it takes time. Okay, it's going to take about 3 wipes before you actually start seeing the results on the beard that you want to see. You see, the more in each scene, wiping away, and the beard line is coming alive a lot more. So let's move along to this facial process. Now I have my steamer going. I'm starting off by washing his beard, and then I'm gonna follow up with a facial scrubbing sponge. I used to use my hands, but I didn't really like putting my hands on other people's faces, so that's the reason why I invested in these scrubbing sponges. They're a lot more sanitary. I also love the white sponges because they also reveal how much dirt is being scrubbed off of the skin of your client. It's also a good wake-up call for them as well, because you can tell them, like, hey, you know, you might want to start washing your face a little bit more at home. Now, after messing up our work a little bit by putting a hot towel on his face, we're going to go ahead and touch up his hairline just a little bit more, just to make sure that hair isn't moving out of place. And, you know, that's why I do love applying the hot towel, because as a barber, you can line someone up once, but it might not be enough because the hair can move. And especially with my particular client, his hair it may look a little hard or whatever you could say, but most people with locks, their hair is extremely soft. So you have to make sure you line them up at least about 2 or 3 times. And that's what I tend to do just with most of my haircuts. And it's also, it's good because when a client is trying to maintain a certain type of style, they want as much low maintenance as possible. So in order to keep up with that low maintenance, hey, just line their hair up about 2 or 3 times. The hairline not moving, all they have to do is just brush their sides or curl their hair up or pin their hair up, whatever they have to do, and, you know, they're about their business. Now, this magic pencil, man, is forever infamous because it saves a lot of hairlines, especially when it's applied correctly and used correctly. It's not fool's gold. I use it to give my clients a sense of hope. You know, it shows them a different outlook on where the hairline or the beard line can actually grow into. And when you're consistent, especially with me or with your particular barber who uses it, the hair eventually grows in the spots that you can never imagine. And that's why a lot of my beard lines, they tend to be wide, because this particular client, his beard was never always this wide when he first started with me. So Hey man, this is called training your hair, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember we applied the magic pencil, so in order to get the magic pencil smeared out as natural looking as possible, because this is more like a highlight feel, just want to make some pop come to my haircut. I'm gonna make my haircut come alive, so I'm razor it out first, and then I'm gonna follow up with my trimmers just to smear it out just a little bit more if I need to, or if I need to just get any little extra wild hairs, like especially on the beard, because the beard hairs on the line, they tend to stick up from time to time. You see I comb down, and then I just snip real quick. Okay, cool. And I make sure I'm getting that line smeared out. And we're gonna do the same thing on the forehead. Now, excuse the lighting, it does look a little light on that side that I'm lining up, but the hair is there. All right, what we do on one side, we always do on the other. And you can see I'm smearing down first, and then I'm gonna go up. Because usually people with dry skin on their forehead, even though I already applied the gel and everything and moisturized the skin can dry up again, you know. So, but usually after I apply the gel, I can still glide my blade across the skin, and it's still a lot smoother versus what I would have tried if I just went straight in with a dry razor. Alright y'all, well, this concludes the haircut. It's been a journey, but I hope you learned something in this video, and I hope that you can apply this to your routine as a barber. In closing, remember this: laziness is a disease. If you are a consistent overachiever, you will reap the benefits of an overachiever. Bonky this out.
Stay in hustle mode, got some brand new clothes, hit them with a pose, check what I just drove, my car don't touch the road.